Hello everybody, we're going to do Algebra 2 today, lesson 3.6. For part 1, 3.6, you want part 2, part 3, email me and I'll get those out to you. 3.6, solving radical equations. We have 11 points here of notes, so note-taking guides, I can provide those. Then we got a 30-point skill sheet here that goes to this lesson, part 1. Teachers, here's your bell work for your students. It's a word problem. Give them about 5-6 minutes to do this. Then here is the solution for the bell work, and you can go over this with your students here. Show them the graph that they should have made from that, and then here is the solution for here. Okay, so solving radical equations, you solve polynomials, you will solve radical. So equations with radicals that have variables in their radicands are called radical equations. The example of a radical equation is here, cube root of 2x plus 7 equals 3. So students, in your own words, define radical equations in your own words here. Write that out. Key concepts here, solving radical equations. To solve a radical equation, follow these steps. Isolate the radical on one side of the equation, raise each side of the equation to the same power, eliminate the radical, and obtain a linear, quadratic, or other polynomial equation. Solve the polynomial equation using techniques you learned in previous chapters. Check your solution. So we have an example here. Solve a radical equation. Solve the cube root of 2x plus 7 equals 3. Okay, so here's our original. So what do? We cube both sides of the equation here until we get this. We get rid of our radical here, then the cube root of 3 is 27. Then we just go ahead and solve it. 2x equals 20, x equals 10, divide each side by 10. And then here's the check here, cube root of 27. Does that equal 3? It does equal 3, so it checks. Okay, our first guided practice here, solve the equation, check your solution. And then students, here is your independent practice that you need to do. First, let's go to practice here, solve the equation. We have cube root of x minus 9 equals -1. So what do? We cube, we move our -9 over here, we get +8. And then we cube both sides here to get rid of our cube root here. Then we have x equals 512. Then we check it, we stick it in there. Does 8 minus 9 equal -1? It does, so the solution checks. Example 2, solve a radical equation given a function. We have v of p equals 6.3 times radical 1013 minus p. It's the pressure in millibars at the center of a hurricane. Estimate the air pressure at the center of the hurricane when the mean sustained wind velocity is 54.5 meters per second. Wind velocity is there. So here's the original function here. So we substitute in for a velocity here, and then we're going to solve for p. We need to solve for p. So divide each side by 6.3 to get rid of this here. And then we got to get rid of our radical, so we square both sides like that. Get 74.8 equals 1013 minus. And then solving for p, negative p equals 938.2 approximately. You divide through, we get 938.2 equals approximately p. The air pressure at the center of a hurricane is about 938 millibars. So here is our guided practice here for that. And students, here is a what if for example 2. Substitute this in for your wind velocity into that function. Guided practice, solve the equation, check your solution. We have this here, so we're going to divide through by 2 on both sides. And then we're going to cube both sides to get rid of our cube root situation there. We have x minus equals 8. Then we solve for x. We get x equals 11. We substitute that back into the original. Check to see if it comes out, and 4 equals 2 times the cube root of 8 is 2 times 2 is 4 equals 4. And that is 3.6 part 1. Email me here for part 2, part 3. Thanks.